Welcome back to another vlog. Today it is FA Cup day. Now, can Tamworth recreate the magic that they had in the FA Cup last season when they beat the likes of Macclesfield, Huddersfield, Burton Albion, and then a sumptuous home tie with Tottenham Hotspur coming here to the Lamb? Today, Tamworth face Hyde. They're a couple of steps below in the Northern Premier, I believe. So on paper, it should be a fairly simple route through to the first round proper, but the FA Cup can throw up some curveballs. So let's go and see what is in store for Tamworth today. I'm going to get inside, get set up for commentary as usual, and we'll get some of the atmosphere and the build-up and see how far Tamworth can progress in this year's FA Cup. So we're all set up in the gantry, ready to go for commentary today. Now, with no TV stream of it today and no Radio Tamworth either because they can't cover the FA Cup going, so literally today the commentary will be going out on Mixlr, which is still fine, and we still get plenty of listeners from all around the world. Tamworth fans everywhere tune in and listen. We have a load of regulars, so a big shout out to all them if you're watching today's vlog. But yeah, honestly, I am optimistic today. I do think Tamworth will have enough to get through to the first round proper, but like we know, the FA Cup can always throw up curveballs. We're about 90 minutes away from kick-off. The gates have just opened, so fans are beginning to make their way in. So yeah, we'll see. I'll probably try and catch the thoughts of a few members of the media team once again to see what they think and how they feel today is going to go. But for me, I'm going to go 3-1 for me today. A 3-1 victory for Tamworth gets us into the hat for the next round, and see who we will draw in the first. But like I said, we've got to get through Hyde United first and get through the fourth qualifying round. But I do think we will have enough. Like I said, you can see behind me on the desk there, everything's all set up for commentary, and yeah, we are all good to go. So I will catch you later on, and hopefully we're going to have a very exciting game to commentate on this afternoon. So the Tamworth lineup is out. Starting off in goal, we've got Jazz Singh. Then we've got the back four of Kwaku Donkor, Kenya Udigi, Hayden Hollis and Luke Fairlam. And in the midfield, we've got Ben Milnes, Joe Riley, Ronan Maher, Bekray Anuru and Jordan Ponticelli. And the lone striker today is Ollie Lynch. On the bench, we've got goalkeeper Leon Phillips, and you've got Matt Curley, Tom Tonks, Stephen Moles, Jordan Cullinane-Liebird, Harvey Sayer and Manny Duku. So quite a few changes from the last game against Morecambe. You've got the likes of Joe Riley, Ben Milnes, Ronan Maher, Jordan Ponticelli, Ollie Lynch, Bekray Anuru, all coming into the starting lineup. So a lot of changes. I think a lot of pace with Ronan Maher and Bekray Anuru. The midfield being shored up a little bit by Joe Riley and Ben Milnes. No long throws from Tom Tonks today. Maybe he's been given a bit of a rest because he's played pretty much every single game since the start of the season. But for me, it's a very, very strong starting 11, and I can't wait for this game to get underway. So I'll have a word with Dan in a minute, who's on co-coms with me once he gets up here into the gantry ahead of kick-off. But yeah, for now, we're 25 minutes away from the start. People are still funneling in. Both teams are out warming up on the pitch, and it's going to be a good atmosphere here this afternoon. Big shout out to the 100 or so Hyde fans that have made the trip as well. Just over 100 tickets they sold ahead of today's game, so they're travelling in good numbers as well. It's not too far down from Manchester, in fairness, for this game this afternoon, but yeah, hopefully it's going to be a cracking one. So I'll catch you in a little bit when Dan gets here, and yeah, see you in a sec. So here is Dan, as promised. He's going to be on co-commentary this afternoon. Now Dan, you're new to the media team this season, as we've already mentioned in a previous vlog, but you will know all about Tamworth exploits in the FA Cup last season, of how well publicised it was. How do you think they can get on this season?
Well, I mean, thank you for having me on again. I do appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, look, everyone, I think, was supporting Tamworth last season in that game against Tottenham. And again, it's just a shame that they weren't allowed that replay going over to play a big Premier League team, and I mean the eventual Europa League winners in Tottenham. That would have been an historic away game for all the Tamworth fans.
I'd have loved to have gone and done press from there, I must admit.
Oh yeah, I mean the food would have been lovely.
It would.
Yeah, but for reasons that wasn't to be, and I mean I'm not a massive fan of that. I get why they did it for the League Cup, because the initial reason for the League Cup is just because it was only the teams in the Football League taking part, and you know, a majority of them play 40-odd league games.
They do.
Plus, you know, Johnson Paint Trophy or whatever it's called now, plus European games for the big teams. So I get that, but the FA Cup, the whole premise of it is it's the underdogs.
It is.
Playing the big boys and having that little upset, you know.
Now, I was going to come on to this point, actually, talking about the replays. Now, like I say, in the qualifying round, like if we draw today, we don't get extra time, we don't get penalties, it would be a replay. So I don't understand why they did that, in fairness, but if they are keen to stick with the no replays in the proper rounds, my idea would be to potentially let the smaller clubs change venue like they used to do years and years ago, but they took that out of the occasion as well. Do you think that would be an option where potentially, if Tamworth were to get to the third round, for example, and draw another big team, the option to swap venue? Do you think that would be a better idea if they're going to stick with no replays?
I think so, only because, as well, it's a chance for really to make more money, have bigger crowds, and, you know, if normally the big teams will, out of the goodness of their heart, either split, you know, 50-50, or just say, actually, you can have the whole revenue. You know, if, say, for example, Tamworth play a Tottenham or whoever again, but instead of being at the Lamb Ground, it's, I don't know, let's say the Bescot. For, you know, argument's sake. Not only have you got a massive stadium to fill, and it will be filled.
It will.
But then that revenue, it's going to be tenfold.
It is.
And that, for a part-time team that we need to remind ourselves that Tamworth are, that'd be huge.
You know, even like a 50-50 split at a place like Bescot, for example, would be more than 100% take here at the Lamb.
Absolutely.
So it would be beneficial, absolutely. So I think that would be, you know, an idea to maybe look at. But anyway, on to today.
Yes.
And how do you think Tamworth can fare against a Hyde United side who, you know, are a couple of steps below, but they've obviously got here on merit. I think Tamworth will have enough today, especially taking the home pitch into advantage, but Hyde do play on a 3G as well, so they will know what it's exactly like to play on week in, week out.
Yeah, you beat me saying that one. So, I mean, Hyde do come into it 3 wins on the bounce, one of them being in that FA Cup. Was it Matlock they beat?
It was, yeah.
But, I mean, it's weird. So, Matlock was a team that I worked with while I was at uni. So, I'm gutted it wasn't Matlock Town, to be honest. But regardless, look, you know, they're a mid-table team, but they're on the back of 3 wins. It's momentum's a funny thing.
It is, isn't it?
I mean, I spoke to a couple of the players in like the week during just about this game, and they all see it as a banana skin, waiting to happen.
Absolutely,
they need to avoid really. And look, it's always the question at the Lamb of, can the opposition deal with those long throws, deal with the corners and the set pieces, because that's where the danger comes.
It is, definitely.
So if Hyde can deal with it, then they have every chance to potentially have a major scalp here, but it's a big if, because those set pieces are just so dangerous.
They are, aren't they? And, you know, full-time National League teams struggle to deal with them, so we'll see, won't we? I'm fairly confident today. I said earlier on in the vlog, I think we'll go 3-1 today. That's my personal opinion. I'm not going to ask you and put you on the spot for a score, but, you know, it's just nice to get your view anyway on what you think. But, you know, we're all set up. You're doing commentary alongside me this afternoon and the social media as well, so you're double dipping with the duties today, which is more work for you. I just stand and talk about the game, which is what I love to do. But yeah, we're going to get ready and hopefully have another great game to commentate on together.
Hopefully. I am predicting the Tamworth win.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll say that.
Okay.
I'd rather get the scoreline wrong, but we just win. It doesn't really matter.
At least we're both on the same page with a win. So come full time, we're out to gloat that we got that one right then.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So, can Tamworth recreate the magic that they created last season in the FA Cup? The referee just checking with both goalkeepers that we are good to go. Hyde will get us underway with their skipper Jack Redshaw getting the ball moving back into the Hyde half as a loud roar from the Hyde fans away to our right hand side. But it is Bekwe Anuru immediately in possession down that left channel, surging down the left hand side, and he's won Tamworth a very early corner early on. And no Tom Tonks this time to launch the ball in long, but it is going to be Joe Riley to step up, and I wonder what Tamworth can do from this instance very early on. Absolutely, Joe Riley then steps up, sends this one in towards the near post. Headed initially away by Hyde, not fully dealt with yet. Mayer gets a header towards goal, but it's claimed by the keeper, Yusuf Mersin, fairly comfortably, and it will be a kick from hand for the Hyde keeper. So Joe Riley steps up, hurls this one into the box once again, headed into the air by Digi, punched away by the keeper, not convincingly cleared away. Hyde try and get the ball out of their own half. Finally the ball comes up towards the halfway line. Recycling forward by Tamworth straight away again. Hollis hooks one over his head towards Anuru, but it's a little bit too far ahead of the Tamworth winger, and out of play it goes for a throw to Hyde United. I do have a free kick now though after that challenge on Jordan Ponticelli by Matthew Fernie that got him into the referee's book, the first one of the afternoon. It is now Ben Milnes though, and Ronan Mayer standing over this one. Milnes does the dummy. Mayer gets the ball in low towards the penalty spot, picked up by Hollis, out to Donkor, back out wide to Ronan Mayer. Trickery of the feet, skips past him, man, and great defending there actually by the Hyde man, the skipper Jack Redshaw. It looked like Ronan Mayer had got past his man, but just positioned his body, Redshaw, in the right place and allowed the ball to run out of play for a goal kick to the visitors here. We are now 60 minutes on the clock. It is still goalless here. Both teams have had chances. Tamworth slightly the more of them so far, but Hyde well and truly growing into this game as time ticks on. Only 1 minute on the clock here. Tamworth with this corner now, and Ben Milnes with a chance to whip this one in towards the 6-yard box, 2 arms aloft from the Tamworth captain. In it comes now, headed away at the near post. Bekwe Anuru heads it back out wide to Milnes, but his header not directed the best, and Hyde now look to try and break away up to the halfway line with Redshaw once again. Ronan Mayer does really well to get back goal side of him, gets a touch on it though, but it's still Redfern. Back towards the halfway line now to McMahon. Hyde still in control with their centre-backs at the minute, trying to pass their way through towards the Tamworth half, but at the minute not having much joy, just being pressed by Tamworth. So this Tamworth corner being set to be taken by Milnes. Once again, 2 arms aloft from him, high arc this time towards the far post. Deeg gets a head on it, looked like it was going to go out of play, catch the play by Ponticelli, towards the far post it goes. Lynch couldn't get one on the end of it. Hyde clear it away, but only as far as Milnes. Now into Riley. Riley shoots from range, and that took a little bobble and a deflection on its way through. Again claimed easy by the Hyde keeper, Yusuf Mersin. The game remains Tamworth 0, Hyde United 0. Minutes played here at the Altair Group Community Stadium, where it is still Tamworth 0, Hyde United 0 in what has become a very evenly contested first half so far. After the first 10 minutes or so, that was all in one direction in the way of Tamworth. I still say Tamworth have probably had the better of the chances so far, but Hyde are not too far behind them. They've had shots on goal, not really on target though, Hyde. If we're being honest, Tamworth have had plenty of shots on goal, but they've been on target, should we say, and they've been well saved by Yusuf Mercer. And Hyde not really testing Jazz Singers, which they've had shots towards goal, but they've not really been on target in the opening half so far. So it's half time here, and it is Tamworth 0, Hyde United 0. And in fairness, what has been a fairly even half so far. Both teams have created chances, both teams have looked good on the counter-attack, but the issue Tamworth are having is that Hyde United are playing in a very similar way to what Tamworth do. They are sitting back deep and defending, inviting the pressure on and looking to break on the counter-attack. So it's sort of cancelling each other out ever so slightly, and Tamworth just need to mix it up and find something to do to get that first goal. But again, for me, Tamworth have had more of the shots on target. The Hyde keeper has been the busier of the two. Hyde shots have been just wide so far, a few feet wide. Jassing's only really had one real save to make at his near post. But yeah, I still think Tamworth are warming into this game. I still think they possess a little bit too much quality for Hyde, and they just need to unlock the key to unlocking that defence. So yeah, hopefully the second half will have some goals, and yeah, we will see how that goes. I will be back with you at full time for obviously the full rundown of what's happened in the second half, and hopefully some goals to report on. So what can Tamworth do in this second half as we are about to get underway here in Staffordshire? Joe Riley rolls the ball back to Ben Milnes. He sends it upfield. Hyde repel the ball straight away. Up into the air it goes. Brought down by Deagy towards Ponticelli. He stabs on back to Milnes. Milnes tries to find Fairland, but Fairland does get there in the end. It is Macaulay, though, who does well there and draws the throw-in out, and it will be a throw-in to Hyde United.
Such a good game, I've got to say.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, Macaulay's been really good for Hyde so far. But it's going to be an interesting second half to see which team can take the stronghold. Like we mentioned in the first half, it's been a very weird sort of game because it's been Hyde have sort of used the same game plan as what Tamworth do, is sitting deep and looking to break on the counter and use set pieces. So, it's cancelled each other out a little bit in these in the first half. But we'll see what Tamworth can do in the second as it ticks on. Yeah, Hyde with this free kick now, 32-ish yards away from goal. There are two standing over it, one being the skipper Jack Redshaw, but he has now walked away. There's only one man in contention for this one now. Steps up, launches it towards goal, and it's claimed in the midriff of Jazz Singh very, very comfortably indeed. And it was the number 4, Benjamin Kershaw, with that free kick. But Tamworth now looking to break down the other way now with Ronan Mayer. Opts to go backwards to Kennedy Deagy. Deagy holding on to the ball, rolls it back to Singh. Singh looks up, sends this one long into the opposition half, looking for the head of Ollie Lynch. Finds the chest of Lynch though. Lynch brought down, but nothing given. Would have been soft if it had been. Recycled forward by Hyde. Good pass though forward from Tamworth as they get the ball back. It's now Donker on the far side, gets the cross in, and that is high and misplaced from Clarky Donker after what looked to be a really promising attack forward from Tamworth. One arm off then from Ronan Mayer as he whips this one in towards Pontelli. He stabs it towards goal with his head. Gone for a corner. Yeah, I was just waiting for the referee's signal there to see what he had actually gone for, because I was waiting with bated breath to shout that it had gone for the corner, and it will be Ben Milnes to now whip this one in from the corner quadrant, the clubhouse corner of the ground here at the Lamb. 2 arms aloft from the Tamworth skipper. Towards the back post it goes. Keeper punches away. Only as far as Mayer, and there's a foul on the keeper there, as I think Kennedy Deagy was there trying to charge in as well, and I think there's just been a clash there on the goal line. And yeah, it was a good corner from Tamworth nonetheless. The referee just halting physio treatment, because I think the player is okay, but yeah, it was a free kick to Hyde. Not sure if it was a foul on the keeper or the defender in the end. It was just Kennedy Deagy really going in for the header at the back post, as he usually does, where he's scored a lot of goals from recently, as he's entitled to do. And yeah, just coming together more than anything. Ben Milnes this time again looking to take this corner kick for Tamworth as he puts the ball on the edge of the corner quadrant. Joe Riley brings the man forward as he looks to take the short corner, but he does draw number 8 Fernley forward. But it is 2 arms in the air from Milnes as he now sends this ball towards the back post once again. Keeper was clearly fouled there. You could see his jersey was being stretched almost right around his body, as there was a battle at the far post, and I think that one actually was a free kick, Dan, and the right decision this time from the referee. But after 62 minutes, Tamworth have taken the lead here though, after a fantastic cross in from Luke Fairlamb. Powerful header into the net by Ben Milnes have given Tamworth the lead, and I did feel it had been coming, in fairness. Tamworth had been beginning to just turn the tempo just a little bit in the last 5 minutes or so. But yeah, Tamworth take the lead, and now Hyde are going to have to be really expansive if they want to get anything out of this game, and that will potentially leave them susceptible at the back. 78 minutes played here at the Alto Group Community Stadium at the Lamb, where it is still Tamworth 1, Hyde United 0, but Tamworth arguably should be 2 goals in front now after Manny Duca did all the hard work on the right hand side and really unselfishly rolled the ball towards the penalty area, or towards the penalty spot, where Roland Mayer was completely unmarked, keeper off his line, but the ball from Mayer was poor and more in damaging the trees behind the goal than the back of the net. But Tamworth still in the ascendancy in this one so far, but Hyde still do have some quality about them. Tamworth have made a number of substitutions as well, hoping to try and see the game out, and we'll have to wait and see through the remaining 12 minutes what can be done here. So 11 minutes left to go. Manny Duku, really good piece of play into the box, tried to play the ball towards the near post but deflected out by Lloyd once again for a Tamworth corner. Now it's going to be Joe Riley to whip this one in from the corner quadrant, and can Tamworth make another set piece count? So Riley places that ball down, 1 arm aloft from him, whips it in towards the back post. The heads go up, heading towards goal by Duku, who's just over the bar, and behind it goes for a goal kick to the visitors. Tonks with ball in hand, a couple of yards up from the corner flag, looking to get his first long throw in of the game towards the front post. It goes, it's headed into the air and over the bar, and I believe that's going to be a goal kick to the visitors. But again, that throw in from Tonks surpassed the penalty spot, and a monster of a throw from the Tamworth number 4. The 90 minutes have elapsed. We are ticking into that 8 minutes of added on time here at the end of this game, and that has gave the Hyde fans behind Jazz Singh's goal some renewed vigour to think that they are still well and truly in this. I think Tamworth had just squandered another chance from Manny Duku. It is Duku now. He finds Anuru out wide. Bekray Anuru looks to chop one way, then the other, charges towards the penalty area. Referee waves away claims of a penalty as Bekray Anuru looks to be bundled off the ball there. I do feel, in fairness, if that had been given, it would have been incredibly harsh on Hyde United, as they now look to try and break once again into the Tamworth half. Now with Lloyd out wide to Macaulay. Fairland does really well though to win the ball there for Tamworth, and Akeley in turn wins the throw in as well, which takes all the pressure off the Tamworth defence once again, and Tamworth will try and slow this game down. So it is full time here. Tamworth into the hat for the next round, the first round proper of the FA Cup for the second season in a row, running out 1-0 victors here today against a very good Hyde United side that made the game a lot more difficult than it probably should have been for Tamworth. Tamworth started the game really well, but Hyde grew into it. You know, and it was a bit of a stalemate, but you know, towards the half-time whistle. Then both teams creating chances. Tamworth having more on target than Hyde, but both having an equal amount of chances. In fairness, second half started again. Tamworth started the better of the two teams, but again Hyde grew into it, and it wasn't really until Tamworth just began to turn the tempo up a little bit. A fantastic cross in from Luke Fairlam, and a header by Ben Milnes to give Tamworth the lead. And then Tamworth, were in the ascendancy a little bit. The substitutions came in, made big differences to the game. Manny Duku came on. He created some good chances, but really there was a couple of chances that Tamworth should have scored to put the game to bed, but they didn't. And Hyde battled valiantly to the end, and really I think the game a little bit more difficult for Tamworth than it should have been. I think in the second half, if Tamworth put them chances to bed, it would have been a little less tense in the 8 minutes of added on time that we had at the end of this game. But it doesn't matter, if Tamworth get through, to the first round and then, they get into the second and so on. Nobody will look back on this game and think, that Hyde game was a bit naff. But, it doesn't matter. We got the win. And we're into the hat for the first round. The draw will be on Monday. So we'll see who we get. Now, for me, I'd rather get, a League One or League Two team, because I prefer to go into the games as the underdog, as we did last season, because these ones where you play lower league opposition, they're always a bit of a potential banana skin. And even if you play a team in your league that's, it's a bit of a boring affair, because it's the sort of thing you see week in, week out, and, it's anybody's game. So, for me, I think I'd rather get a League One or Two team on that draw on Monday evening. But away from today's game, next commentary and vlog from me will be a week today, so next Saturday, when Tamworth travel to Aldershot, who currently sit 19th in the National League. Not had the best of starts to the season so far, but they have played a lot of teams sort of in the top half of the table, so that will be an interesting test and an interesting game to see. We won there last season on the road, so hopefully we can do the same again. But yeah, from me, thanks for watching. If you're still here, drop me a subscribe, give me some likes. Put your comments down in the chat, actually. Your favourite moments from the team that you follow in the FA Cup, whether you're a Tamworth fan or a Hyde fan watching this, or if you're just a neutral watching, just to see what goes on behind the scenes. Put your favourite FA Cup memories in the chat from the team you support. So all it leaves me to say from me today is thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.